Okay, so we're now live. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to wherever you are. So this is a webinar, TADHack webinar, where we're focusing on the Google developer resources. So I'll just quickly introduce who we have on the call. We have Matthias. Matthias, if you'd say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Matthias from Budapest. I'm a developer from Alorand, and Alorand is an integrator, basically, at Telcos.
Cool, thanks so much, Matthias. And we have Doug from Oracle.
Hello, Alan. Hello, everyone who's on the call. This is Doug Tate from Oracle. I am the product marketing manager for the products we're talking about today. I'm very excited with what we're doing here with TADHacks. And if we're lucky, we also get Tari on the line with Elrond.
Exactly. So we're just waiting for one more person to join us who was on, everything was working, and we're having some technical difficulties in getting him into this Hangout. But fingers crossed we can bring him back in. But over to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to briefly introduce TADHack, what we're trying to cover. We'll then move on to Doug, then to Matthias, and fingers crossed we can find a way to get Anton connected. We also have the questions activated, so the audience, George, has already said hello on the questions, so I'm just going to select that and say we're done saying hello to you, George. So we can basically make this interactive as well. So let me just get straight down to it. I'm just going to find where, here we go. Let me just share the screen for the presentation. Start the screen share. And hopefully that should, fingers crossed. I'm just checking, but as always, there's a few technical difficulties here. Can the rest of you, can you see the slides? Or are you just seeing me?
I see your mouse moving.
Oh, here you go. Okay, just hang a sec. It should work now. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, sorry about that. User error. So this, as I said, is the webinar on Oracle's developer resources with its two partners, Alorand and Opta. TADHack is running on the 6th and 7th of June. It's all about basically adding communications to your apps, your services, your business processes. So we're really just trying to bring the community of telecom application developers together. Here's the sponsors. We've got a great lineup of sponsors that are making this possible, including Appidays, Google, Zenith Mobile, Huawei, Nexmo, Oracle, Solomase, Telestacks, Tropo, Truephone, and Ubuntu. So really a great range of big names as well as small innovative companies that are basically making telecoms programmable so you can embed it everywhere, as well as creating platforms so you can create new, cool, interesting services. We have a whole range of development themes. Of course, telco APIs, WebRTC, but also location APIs. We're also, because you're able to get access to the media stream, you can start to do really interesting things with hacking your calls. So this is going to be unique, and we hope to be able to do something interesting there. Of course, traditional SMS and USSD, converged apps that bring together both web and traditional PSTN, humanitarian, so we're partnering with Geeks Without Bounds, and Diggs from GWOB will be basically there curating that development theme, payment, and of course mashing all of those APIs up. So really very broad across a whole range of different capabilities. Just so you understand the lineup, on Friday the 6th, we'll have opening address from myself, then we go straight to Mark Shuttleworth, the founder of Ubuntu, technology visionary for sure, and also Second Space Tourist. So we'll have his keynote, and also all these keynotes, the morning sessions, will be streamed live over the internet for anyone to view. We'll also have James Tagg, the CTO for TruePhone, and of course the founder of TruePhone, presenting TruePhone being a very innovative operator. They're doing some very interesting things around service innovation. And then we'll wrap up with a panel discussion around how telecom application development is changing the world as we know it. Then we'll have lunch. Then we have, and I apologize, it's a little hard to see, but we then have a whole range of sessions that are deep dive into those different technology platforms. Now, these won't be broadcast over the internet. This is just going to be for Madrid. Then on Saturday, the 7th, we'll have more of the hackathon. Hackathon will be running in parallel on the Friday, and we also encourage all developers, because the resources are already up and available on the TADHack site, to get in there and start playing with the tools before the event. So the morning will be focused on wrapping up on the projects, and then we'll have the afternoon where we'll be basically pitching. And there will be pitches from remote developers, from developers in Madrid, and also from all the satellites. And then we'll finish up hopefully by about 5:30 to 6:30 with all the awards. So there's going to be about 25 different awards that we'll be allocating from the sponsors prizes as well as the satellite prizes. Just a mention of the telco supporters. We have Cellcom, Magyar Telecom, Telstra, TruePhone, and US Cellular. They're going to be looking at all the hacks generated during TADHack and seeing what they can trial. So very much we're trying to show the whole ecosystem in action, not just taking technology direct to your customers, but also using telcos as a channel for service innovations. And as I mentioned, we have a number of satellites. We've got satellites in Sri Lanka, in Malaysia, in the Philippines, in Pune. We also have the Illinois Institute of Technology. Their real-time communications lab will be running TADHack in Chicago, and also the University of Rey Juan Carlos. They're going to be running some pre-events, and some of their students will be in attendance at TADHack in Madrid. Philippines is being run by Globe, and TADHack Malaysia is being run by Cellcom, and TADHack Sri Lanka is being run by Hate-Sened Mobile, and also IdeaMart, part of Dialogue. So it really is a global event trying to help developers get access to all the cool technologies that enable you to embed communications into your apps, services, and business processes. So hopefully that's given you a background on what we're trying to do with TADHack. What I'm going to do now is to hand over to Doug, who's already in waiting with his slides, to give you a introduction. Okay?
Thank you, Alan. Yeah, and I just want to mention, we saw the PowerPoint first slide of yours. We didn't see you walk through, but we all know you can go to the website, tadhacks.com/2014. You get all those details you talked about.
Okay.
But yeah, very good introduction, and Oracle is very proud and pleased to be a sponsor of TADHack. We see it's the real potential here to really spur the industry on for building applications and completing that whole ecosystem, from the developer to the infrastructure to the carrier, and not to even enterprises as well. So we're very pleased to be part of this. I'll try to keep it short because I really want to get down to some of the details that we'll see from Elerant and Optari, some of our key partners here. But to kick things off, as far as our introduction is concerned, I'm just showing here two basic platforms from Oracle that we're introducing into TADHacks that developers can have access to. The one on the left is based on WebRTC for doing the media and signaling from the client into the network and making those necessary connections through a media and signaling engine and into the network. And the one on the right is a service exposure platform for either internal use, partner use, garage developer use, however you want to access that. I'll mention on the left, this the WebRTC platform is focused very much around WebRTC. Optari is our partner here that's standing this up in their lab for use. Aptari will also have the API exposure platform ready to go. Our other partner, Elerant, is standing up the platform on the right for API exposure. I think the exciting part, what Elerant is doing here, is they are connecting it and tying it to a live network, the Magyar Telecom network. So the and Matthias will go through that and go through those details. But the neat part is they'll have live IPTV type scenarios, charging and billing and so forth. If I were to go one step further and start looking at some of these details, the WebRTC signaling and media engine has a whole bunch of browser support, secure network support. I see a lot of the things that developers will be interested in tying into is on the left-hand side there, where we see the signaling encapsulation, the admission control, the session rehydration. There are a whole bunch of other media and network traversal stuff you'll find on the right-hand side around media support, SRTP to RTP interworking, ICE stun turn, intelligent load marketing, intelligent load management, and high performance. So these are the things we can tie into. I even have a nice little graphic there across the top of the SDK. And that's the SDK will be our focus for what we're doing at TADHack. And that in that SDK, you should be able to access everything you see on the left and right there. My advertisement here, and I'll try to keep the advertising real short, one of the best reliable platforms, fault tolerant, highly secure, highly interoperable, works for the rest of the industry. Enough of the advertisement. Moving on, we see that signaling and media integration ties what you see on the left-hand side of the browser or into a phone on you see on the right-hand side, tying it into the network for both the media and signaling portion of this with an HTTP SOAP-based interface to that platform. We see that the signaling engine is based on Java Enterprise Edition and SIP servlets, so it's very enterprise-friendly. And the media engine is based on our Acme acquisition on session border controller. So if you're familiar with either of those industries, you'll find that these two red boxes may be friendly to you. As I move further and drive down, looking at the development of this and the anatomy of the messaging going through, here's a quick snapshot of a JSON real-time communications message where what I have on the JavaScript up front gets converted to a JSON call that then gets sent to the WebRTC session controller, and you see the typical things that you would find if I were to do a Wireshark or any type of analysis or log. You'll find these types of messaging coming across in JSON, the request, response, the ACK, the error, and so forth. So this is a type of message that you'll see debugging and running from the website. The API Management, OCSG, this is the other platform that allows us to do third trusted party partners to come in and with RESTful or SOAP interfaces to do things like messaging, call control, location, and again, these details Elerant will cover in a bit. The important parts of the aspects of this platform is around policy control and security and partner management are all built into that platform. A lot of the exposure you'll see are the tools that you can use to create and generate messages into the network. Here's a typical example of one of the tools, the platform test environment, where I can generate messages going in and coming back out. We may see a lot more of this coming from the Aptari environment since we don't have a live network running under Aptari. But under the Elerant environment, they do have it tied into a live network. So we wouldn't necessarily have to have a network simulator here. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Alan, to give control back to Elerant and let them go through their platform.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Doug. We're still struggling to get Anton on. Unfortunately, you know how it is. We had to basically boot him off, and because one of the sessions he had running was crashed, and of course that seems to be causing a little bit of an issue. But we're trying. Hopefully, we can get Anton in a minute. So what I'd like to do now is to introduce Matthias. I'll hand over to you, Matthias, so that you can run through your slides to describe the developer resources. Okay, you're still on mute at the moment, Matthias. So I'm just going to take you off mute, or you might need to take. There you go.
Okay. Hi.
I can see Doug.
Okay. I just want to ask you that if you can see my desktop.
I can see your desktop. I can see the slides.
Okay, great. So, hi, my name is Matthias Sörhidi from Budapest. You can call me Matthias. It's a little bit easier. And I'm gonna talk about our APIs that we are publishing for the hackathon developers on this event. The APIs are part of our App Engine solution. App Engine is a service delivery platform which combines a couple of communication services like traditional telco services, voice, messaging, and payment, and so on, together with IPTV services and other platforms like Web2 or social media, and also we have services for smart application development. What we are bringing for the hackathon is a couple of simple services like call control, SMS, and IPTV. And these services are really simple, made it easy to use for the hackathon developers. And we also provide devices for the developers, so you can try your solutions on live network. So Magyar Telekom will provide the network infrastructure for this event. Magyar Telekom offered a set-top box device and 3 SIM cards for every hackathon team, and the APIs are built on Oracle communication products like OCSG, OCAS, and OCSG, and we are providing our service delivery platform that the services that are part of the App Engine are exposed for the developers. So we are planning to provide SIM cards and set-top box simulators for up to 5 teams, and also the APIs for them, so they can create their solution on this platform, and also try out running on real network. So we're gonna have traditional telco APIs like messaging. They are very simple, as you can see. They are provided, implemented as RESTful services, and you can interact with HTTP post queries, and the request parameters should be included in the request body. For example, to send a message to a device, you can put these parameters to the request body, like sender address. So it's quite simple. We wanted to make it really simple, and hopefully this will help to create real solutions during the short period of the hackathon. The APIs are bidirectional, so you can subscribe to notification for network events and user interactions. For example, you can receive SMS as well, not just send SMS short messages. And when you subscribe to a service number, all interaction, all messages sent to the service number will be sent back through a callback to the caller. In this case, the developer. Okay. First, you can terminate the notification session with sending a simple session ID through the SMS API. So regarding to creating the calls, you can use the click to dial form of creating calls and providing the call party and the calling party. It's quite simple to connect to devices. The devices will send to the team members, and the phones will ring actually in Madrid or else if the members were located in other locations. Okay, you can use the call notifications as well. If you subscribe to an address, all the call events will be sent back through callback to the application, like no answer or busy or an incoming call and things like that. You can stop the notification with very similar to the short messaging service, and what we think could be very interesting and new for the developers is the making available to interact with IPTV through set-top boxes. So like in a messaging API, you can send messages that are popped up in the IPTV TV screen, and user can interact with this messaging, and the interaction, the options are sent back to the calling party through the API. So, for example, if you want to show a pop-up message on the screen with the content of missed call, for example, from Alan, you can define a template identifier and a couple of template parameters, and this message are shown on the set-top box on the TV, and then the user can interact on the TV and choose an option, and this option is sent back to the caller. So it's quite simple to interact with the IPTV platform, and it's really similar to other telco APIs. Here as well, the application developers or the applications can subscribe set-top box events and also terminate the notification section. So we made these APIs with all the documentation available at testbed.appengine.com. You can find this information on this website. I'm trying to show what we have on this site. So this is the short introduction of the solution. Under the download section, there's a documentation where the APIs are explained. There are API call examples made available as SoapUI project, so you can try out the APIs, and you can also run some mock services on your environment, while the access to the real APIs are made available. And the notification or the interaction starts with the registration process, and during the registration we will made available the SIM cards and the set-top boxes for the first 5 team who registers for this platform, and we will deliver them the SIM cards and the access to the set-top box simulators individually. We will discuss it through email. There are also a couple of videos on the site where the possibilities, the capabilities of these platforms are made available, and you can see what can be done with this platform here in the videos. So thank you for your attention. That was our introduction in a nutshell. So I'm giving back the...
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matthias.
The screen to Alan. Thank you.
That was a great presentation. Now, we've finally managed to get Anton back. A little bit of time, but he's here. All I can say is I didn't block him from being on the call. I just kicked one of his twins off, but it seemed to have caused some problem. But he's here. We can be a great sigh of relief. So, Anton, I'll hand over to you now. Is that okay?
It's okay. Thank you, Alan. The truth is, I am not Anton now. I am Marcos Penas. Thank you to him. I'm able to connect with some cases moments, but it's solved. Okay. I'd like to present myself. My name is Anton Rodriguez from Untitled Solutions. Untitled Solutions is a company based in Spain. We work with communication service providers worldwide, helping to open their network to internet and to monetize their assets. And we are collaborating with Oracle, providing a platform based in Oracle products for the TADHack. This platform can be used for all the developers assisting to the TADHack to develop their own applications and to use the APIs provided by Oracle. So let me to introduce my part of the webinar, sharing the screen, just a minute. Okay. So the first part is the TADHack.optalsolutions.com. This is a specific website that we have developed for TADHack, and here the developers can find all the resources we have provided for the TADHack. They can find also tutorials, how to. They can download the SDKs. They have everything here. So we are going to introduce this website, starting with the first part of the process, that is the request the credentials. After that, we are going to set up the environment for telco APIs and also for WebRTC. The process is very easy, very short. We want to take it very simple, and we want to demonstrate in this webinar how a developer in less than 20 minutes is able to start to work with the Oracle platform. Okay, but we are ending the webinar also showing how we request support. So let's go with the web. Here we have it, TADHack.optalsolutions.com. We have a warm welcome for all the developers. As you can see, we are updating the web page with different resources, with different videos, and our idea is from now to the TADHack on the beginning of June, continually updating with more resources for the developers. Okay. The first part of the first step in the process is to request a credential. That is a very, very simple form. Only you have to fill your name, your last name, and your email twice. And if you are representing an enterprise in the TADHack, we also know to know it with the name and the request. So that's all you have to do, and in less than 24 hours, you will receive an email with the username and the password. Okay, here the idea is very simple. You will have a username and password for everything. Okay, we want to keep it simple. We are going to avoid to use encryption or other things more complicated. We are not very worried about security here. So the idea, obviously we have firewalls and other things, but the idea here is to facilitate the work to the developers, and only with the username and password you can start to use all the services. What REST services? Well, we have WebRTC, we have payment, we have messaging, and we have location. Okay, let's start with messaging because perhaps it's the simplest service. We have always the same structure for all of them: a documentation section, an API call sample section, also a sample application, and also the support. Okay, in the documentation section, let me open it. We are providing the Oracle documentation. The Oracle documentation is very clear, very good, and very complete. You can find a lot of very good information here. So we are providing general links to the documentation, but there are a big amount of them. So sometimes we are providing also specific links to specific chapters. For example, in this case, to the one API short messaging interface, so the developers can find here exactly the interfaces they are using, some samples, and other resources. Okay, and we are providing also general information and Optare resources. They are resources developed specifically for TADHack. Okay, we can access them also from the main web page here in the API called samples, and we can review it. To that, to share these resources, we are using GitHub. GitHub is a social network for developers. Okay, we think that TADHack is an excellent opportunity to be social, to networking, to meet other developers, to meet software vendors, and for that reason we want to use this virtual platform because it's a very good way to share our knowledge, our experience with developers around the world. So here we have, in this case, the sample requests and sample responses, and also a SOAP UI project. Let me explain better how to work with that. GitHub allows us to download the source code in different ways. We can use control version systems as Git or Subversion, or if we prefer, we can download directly the zip file. In my case, I like Git, so I'm going to go to clone this repository. Okay. With that, I have all the files in my computer now. So I can open the SOAP UI. SOAP UI is a free and open source software, very, very used for API developers to test and to develop interfaces. It's very powerful. There are a lot of parameters you can configure, but sometimes it's always a bit hard to configure it properly. So to avoid that, we are providing directly this file. We can import the project. We can go to the workspace. Okay, we have it. And now here we can open the request. So we have, in this way, we have the request ready to use. Okay, the endpoint of our virtual environment in the cloud. We have to change the username and the password. We have to put here the username and password provided by mail, and we have, in this case, for example, a JSON structure with a message. For example, we can set a message saying "Hello World Hack" and click on. It's done. Okay. Now we have done the first call we have made the first call to the virtual environment, okay, to the environment in the cloud. So as you can see, it's very, very easy. In just 5 minutes, you can start to work with our environment, with our platform. Other thing we are providing is access to SDK. Okay, the SDK is a very interesting tool. It's provided by Oracle. As you can see, it's more visual. Okay. You have here, for example, a form. You can create another one with a telephone number. You can send a SMS from one phone to another. In this case, for example, to 1234. Let me change the message. Hello, Tad. You can receive the message, the SMS. You can read it. Okay. You can delete it, and you can delete also the phone. Something very, very interesting is you have here all the services available. You don't need to have access to internet only with your laptop, with your computer. You can start to integrate your application with all the services for testing, okay? For example, for terminal location, or for payment, or for short messaging. And here you can see all the endpoints. So for example, from Swap UI, you can do exactly the same thing. Open a call, a request. Okay, and in this case, we are going to send a SMS to hello world, hello Tad from Swap UI. Okay, using the endpoint provided for the application test environment. Click on. Sorry, we have to change. Okay. I have to change the credentials. That's a very important thing. And configure here. Sorry, session manager. We are not using sessions to keep it simple. So let me try it again. Okay, nice now. Okay, one, and here we can see the message. So we can read it. As you see, it's working. Okay, we can send the message from Swap UI or from your application. This is very interesting, for example, for the final speech in the TADHack. If you want to avoid problems with the network, the line in the SMS, or for example, problems of coverage or roaming or whatever, you can use this ATE. It's very easy, very safe, and it provides all the functionalities you can need to show how your application is working. So it's a very, very cool application. Well, let me return to the web page. Here, now we are going to show how to work with WebRTC. Okay. As you can see, the structure is exactly the same. We are providing the documentation and also the API code samples. It's also in GitHub, but the structure, the files are a bit different. For WebRTC, we can't work with Swap UI. We have to do it in a different way. So we are providing here a web page with the basic functionality. The idea here is to provide to the developers with the basis to develop their own applications. But we are going to do exactly the same thing. Download the code. Okay, we are doing a clone. A clone is a very interesting thing because, because with that we can download the code, we can make change, and after that, if we want, we can upload that change to GitHub and even to propose changes in the original source. So it's very interesting to share our experience and to share our changes within the community. So we have it. We have the code now. Okay. The other thing we need in our computer is a web server. In my case, I am going to use Apache or any other one. Okay, let's go. And now we can start to browse the web page. So localhost. Okay, sample, and now it's the moment to log in. This is the web we are providing. Okay, so now we are browsing that web. We have the credential, they are the credential we provide in the email, so log in, and we can start a video demo, for example. Okay, in this case, we have to register, for example, using the user Bob, and we are going to open an incognito window to establish a communication between them. It's exactly the same process, the same login, video demo, but now we are going to register with Alice. Okay, so now both users are registered, and we can call from Bob to Alice. Okay, hello, and here we can accept the Bob call, hello, and if we go, hello, we have, for second time today, we have two Antons, me and my twin. I expect Alan don't kill my session now. This is only a joke, okay? As you can see, we can very, very easily start working with WebRTC. We have a conference, and you have the basics to start developing. In just 5 minutes, you can download the code and have something working. And from that, you can adapt your use case, or you can adapt your application to start working with that. So it's a very, very straightforward process. Well, let me hang up the call and log out, return to the web page. The last thing, but very important, is the support. Okay, for us the support is very important. We want to support the developers in the TADHack. We know there are only few weeks, and probably there are a lot of dudes. So we think support is very important, and we are going to support all the developers in a very agile way. And to do that, our idea is to use, in the same way, GitHub. GitHub has a issues part, so we have created an organization inside GitHub with all the repositories, and also with a general repository. So if you have any type of question or whatever, you can go directly to the repository and place your question, or if it's something general, you can do it in general. It's always the same thing. Go to issues, okay, and here you can create an issue. Okay, fill a title and describe your problem. Okay, even assign the problem to one of our team, and we will get back to you. Okay, so that's all for our side. We are going to update the web, and don't hesitate to start working and to request the credentials. Okay. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in Madrid very soon.
That was excellent, Anton. Congratulations. I thought that was a great explanation of the tools that you've got there. So, Doug or Matthias, is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up on the webinar?
No.
Doug, you're muted. There you go.
Oh, I'm muted. No, that was fantastic. Both Matthias and Anton, great presentations. So great. I feel like logging off here and starting experimenting and trying and writing some development code. So, job well done. It was very good. Really enjoyed it. And I think it's a good start. I'm very pleased to see these pages opening up. Matthias and Anton, in closing remarks, can you tell us when everything will be live on your sites?
So Matthias first.
I think so. So we are planning to support the developers with self-UI project, and live access will be provided to the subscribed developer teams by the 13th of May.
Okay.
Cool. That's great, and I think the key thing here is it's a live network, so it's very exciting. So Matthias, thanks for that. And then it isn't Marcus, it's Anton. Your resources be live.
Marcus is here close to me, so Yes, our environment is up and running. You can register, and we'll send the credentials as soon as possible. But as you see in this webinar, you can start to work with that. Most of the interfaces are working, also WebRTC. But for sure, we are going to load new resources this week and the next one, and probably the next one also, some application samples to try to help to the developers to develop their applications in a very easy way, and also to support their ideas. And in fact, we are very agile, so see if someone asks for some specific documentation or how-to tutorial, we really want to help, so no problem with that.
That's great. Excellent. Thanks so much, Anton. And then I guess finally, Doug, the final word to you.
Well, and both Anton and Matt, yes, you'll be in Madrid, or both companies will be in Madrid represented. Yes. Very good. No, that's a very, very good session. Thank you, Alan, for pulling this together, and I think we are looking forward to TADHacks. We want to get the word out as far as we can, get as many developers involved and engaged. This is a great start and really nice pages, and so this is very exciting stuff. You know, I'm even looking beyond June 6th and 7th and what we can do beyond that to grow this and make it even bigger.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Doug, because this is, you know, with TADHack, it's about trying to build a community around all the cool stuff you can do with communications. And 6th and 7th, if you like, is just, you know, it's almost like the kickoff. Because one of the things that we're going to be doing after the event is for all the hacks that are generated, doing a deeper weblog around each of them, not just the winners, but everyone that's contributed. Because one of the things that we're trying to do is just promote all the developers that get involved. We're now at over 220 developer registrations, which is massive. I mean, when we started this, back, you know, when the idea was generated at the end of November, I think none of us thought it was going to become as large as it is. So again, thanks a lot for everyone. Apologies to Anton for the little hiccup, but we got there in the end, and it was a great presentation. So thanks a lot, and hopefully see you all in Madrid. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye now.